Welcome to Pattern Machines. I'm Kenny and this is my RX7 drift kart that I'm building. So this is part of a build off I've got going with DK the welder. He's another Kiwi YouTube guy and he's building his RX7. It's a series 6-ish, the third generation RX7, and he's building it out of 3D prints. I'm going old school and folded. So engine I'm using is this Rotary. It's a 160cc Rotary engine, and that's getting coupled up to a 4-speed manual gearbox out of a pit bike. So today I'm going to look at doing the chassis, figure out where this drivetrain's going, and I guess we can figure that out together. So let's get into it. Now I've got the body all squared up on a jig, so it's all level and square and got the wheels in position, just so I can, take the body away and build the chassis. But first, let me show you this engine. So this is a Sachs KM48. It's a 160cc Rotary engine, and so I think it produces about 8 horsepower, something like that. I mean, you can do things to them to get them produce more. I haven't played with this engine too much. I've had it for I think it's coming up 4 years now. Got it off eBay in Australia, had it shipped over to New Zealand, and I was just waiting for this opportunity to, to do something with it. So I figured this is about as good as any. So these are quite common on, they're somewhat common on mini bikes because of the size and stuff like that, and the power output's pretty good for a mini bike. But what I'm thinking is, yep, that comes off. So in the back of it, it has this counterbalance, and then the that little output shaft can come off. So what I'm thinking is build my own output shaft to go from here to into the gearbox. This the gearbox is off a pocket bike, so it's a 140cc. I think it's a 4-speed manual, and it's got a broken crankshaft, so I can remove all the bits out of it and bang that straight into there, and then off the other end I got 4-speed. Just do some more disassembling, and then hopefully, it's a different size. So I found a Torx that'll fit. So I know this engine will run. I've had it spun over by the drill and just thrown fuel down its throat, and it does fire, cough and splutter, so it's got spark, it's got compression, just needs a carburetor on it, I think. Now, does that mean that comes off? Yeah. Yep. How easy. And this little doohickey here can come off too. So this would have held the starter generator. So all likelihood this engine would have come off a generator or a water pump, something like that. A lot of them are used on farms in Australia. But yeah, I don't know where this one came from. Didn't really ask too many questions. Barely even asked it. Well, I think it was, don't even know if it was Ranwind parked when I bought it. It was just a an unknown. So I just took the gamble. It's a long bolt, that one. I have a feeling this has been apart. It's got washers on that side, no washers on this side. So I don't know if that's standard or not, but don't matter one bit. Not to me anyway. Not at the moment, it might do if it decides not to work. So this engine's going right up the front here. About there. Just enough room. And transmission will plonk down. Oh, it's heavy. Right behind it. About there. And the whole lot. Can move forward a bit. About there somewhere. And so the whole purpose of this is so when the bonnet's open, or the hood, all you see is engine and transmission. And from this side here, it can all be hidden from the cab compartment as well. So when the bonnet's open, your legs go either side of the engine, but they'll be covered, so all you see is engine transmission. So that's pretty cool. All right, we'll get this out of the way, and then we can figure out what this chassis is going to look like. Whoa, that was close. One of the build requirements was to climb in through the door and get in through the door, but make it stupidly small. So I should be sitting maybe here somewhere, with the engine between my legs. And then I've got to figure out what to do with this drive shaft. Actually, while I'm here, so I got this box a couple of days ago. It's my reversing drive shaft. So hopefully it'll kind of fill in the missing pieces I've got. Mail time. So yeah, a little bit of friction, not too bad. So typically this bolts up to the back of the engine there, something like that. So when the engine turns, it goes to a drive shaft, and there's your selector, I guess. Yep, selector. Forward and reverse, maybe a neutral in there somewhere. Yeah, so this is my idea of how I think it might come together. Engine straight into the old crank, so it picks up that, chucks the power through, 4 gears, out through that shaft, into the reverse box, so forward reverse, and then that chucks the chain onto there. So it gives me 4-speed forward, 4-speed reverse. But the only problem is whether that drive shaft is going to be far enough over. One idea I had was to chuck a chain on that end just to kick it out the side a bit further. That is a possibility, but if I can do away with an extra step, I'll go for it. So I'll chuck the body back on, and then I'll see how that is for room in there and see if there's enough space to sit beside it. I don't mind being offset a little bit because there's quite a bit of room in there. And I think I might go through and hang on. Go through and open these doors up too, so I can climb in. So what I'll do, I wonder if I can do it so I can actually hinge it somehow. I'll put some tape on there. Then just unscrew it. Is that a wee bit loose? That should do it. All right, here we go. Let's open this door up. We'll see what falls apart. The whole thing might just collapse. That's it. What do you reckon? Okay, it'd be better once it has an actual hinge. The door won't fall apart. So I've got this much room to climb in. I've got to get one leg out around the corner there, and the other one's got to shoot off down the other side. But first, make sure that engine is centered up. It's not too far off. And I'll try and climb in. I've done it with a little cardboard model that I made, but I haven't done it with metal. So if I can't get in here, it's too late. Oh, I might take my shoes off first. Hang on. Heaps of room to get around the corner there. Heaps of room. Right, I'll show you what I got going on in here if I can. Get you. Jeez. It's a bit of a tight squeeze, hang on. So sitting down here, I've got enough room for my knees out the side. The gearbox is kind of kicked off to the side, which still goes all right because it's under my leg. And the drive shaft heads down here. So I could swing it a bit more to get that drive shaft a wee bit higher up, and that'll swing it out a bit further just to give me a little bit more room down to the gearbox back there. Oh, it's getting warm in here. But there also, I mean, there may be room to get this gearbox up beside me. Not that it's really necessary, but yeah, I might do. If I want to lift that gearbox up, then it's gonna give me room there. But no, I'm happy with that. Plenty of room in here. And yeah, so it's just ridiculously small enough. And my feet, oh, I can lift my feet up a bit, don't I? Up there. Yeah, no, there's heaps of room. Might have to drive it barefoot. Alright, well I guess I'll climb out and I'll continue on with this this chassis, see what we can figure out. So my choice of steel for a chassis is this was new once upon a time steel. Now I would go some heavier stuff, but just going to go with this 25 by 25. Like, have you seen what I'm up against? His steering alone has more power than my whole Rotary engine, so I need to cut some weight somewhere. And on another note, look how fancy I'm getting. Got this new power hacksaw. Power hacksaw? What do you call it? Bandsaw. That's the one. Jeez. Thanks, Alistair. It's definitely made life easier. Brand new as well, at some stage in its life. And even with a fancy auto cut-off thing. God, I'm moving up in the world. Just wait. Wait till I'll be building next with all this precision equipment. Well, at least it's newer than my lathe. I mean, my lathe was brand new, I think about 110 or 115 years ago. So yeah, I'm moving up slowly. God, what a life changer this thing has been. I've only had it, I've used it a few times, but what a difference. And it even cuts angles too. Yeah, I don't know what to do without it. So I'm just here to show you that, I mean, if you have an idea to build something, you can just get out and do it. You don't have to know what you're doing, how to do it. You just figure it out along the way. Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to have tools. I mean, it is a luxury having a bandsaw and lathe and stuff like that, but yeah, you can definitely build stuff without all the fancy old tools. Now this chassis may look pretty basic and lightweight, but there is a wee bit of madness to it. I have got extra strength going in it, but the whole purpose of this is to get the perimeter strengthened up, and then I can kind of, if I need to seat lower down, I've got room to do that. This drive shaft may pass straight through there, so I kind of have to build that up and I can strengthen it off. So this is kind of giving me my base shape, then from here I can build off to hold the back axle. This front's going to be in the middle here somewhere to hold all the engine and stuff, and then I think a straight beam across, straight beam axle, you know, kind of like the old Model A's and stuff. Are they straight beam? I don't know. Whatever. Put a straight beam axle in. That can carry the weight of the engine transmission, and then I can tie it back to the chassis. But I have a feeling that my weight is going to be pretty well spread across that, so fingers crossed it'll work, but otherwise I can always go up and over the door opening. So I'll just go and get this frame tacked together, and then I'll bring I'll show you the monstrosity I'm using for the the donor for the rest of like the steering and the axle and stuff like that. I'm definitely not going new on this one, even though it does deserve it. Well, this is when you say, look what the cat dragged in. Believe it or not, this is my choice for donor for all the parts. I'm just going to say it's because I had it up on the rack already. But this is going to give me, for now, we're just going to say this is a version 1, there's definitely upgrades. But for now I've got front and back, front, what do you call them? Not disc brakes, the other ones. Jeez, drum brakes. So we've got left and right drum brakes, all the steering components, all the bits for that, the other shafts. I can't think of any words today. Anyway, so we've got the whole front end there I can use, and the back end, got an axle. I don't know if I use that sprocket, but might have a sprocket. The rear disc brake, that's hydraulic. I don't think I need the suspension. Oh, maybe. Might use a suspension, we'll see. We'll see how out of control I get. And what I'm thinking as well, I could also use these wheels. So the tyres I'm using are these ones. They are 6-inch rim, but the diameter is equivalent of, a half scale RX7. Now these rims will give me the equivalent of 16-inch. So what I'm thinking is cut the tyre, circle bigger, get some low profile going. If I use an inner tube, then I can just chuck a screw in the back to, so it can bite onto the rim and not spin. But that might be an easy way of getting the correct proportions for a low profile tyre. So that's one thing I'll definitely be trying. And plus, they all bolt straight up to the hubs already. What else have we got in here? Got a carburetor. Actually, I wonder if that carburetor will work. Huh, might even have a carburetor. Front brakes, back brakes. Yeah, so I'm going to go strip this down, get the main parts off it, and yeah, see what can work. But this rear suspension, actually, I'm pretty well set up now, because I've got that I've got a point now I can actually hinge it off. So that might be a goer. I don't know about the now that I mention it, the front is actually set up too. Okay, right, so first thing, I'm going to unbolt the whole front end, the whole rear end, and see if I can just mount it up to my frame. See, this is what I'd meant. Now, if my calculations are correct, we still have the steering hooked up. Of course we do. All right. Does that come? Nope. All right, hang on. Give me a minute. All right, now that's the easy part done, I think. What a mission just for that. And this back end should be somewhat easy. It's bolted on, just cut the swing arm off. Unbolt, done. Oh, and the brake line. Now this is how it's supposed to be easy. One bolt and a brake line, and the back end should be off. That's what I like to see. Oh, okay. One bolt, a suspension bolt, and brake line. That's it, we got it. Got the rear end. Last night I set all this up and it's it's looking quite cool. I'll get into that front in a minute, but I've had overnight to think about this and kind of process what's going on. So this rear end, I'm pretty confident it's going to work. I do need to cut and extend the axle and space these bearing carriers out. So that'll get the wheel, wheel mount, axle hub, the hub. Jeez, another day of not knowing English. Get the axle hub pushed out to the wheel, and this gearbox, little reversing gearbox, may be able to sit in front, and I can just use it. I'm going to give a go the standard gearing that came with that little engine there, and because it's such a big drive gear, I can actually get it quite close to the the axle sprocket. So I think something like that should work, and I can then mount it down. I'd love to go with suspension, but I think for this initial run to Mad Mike Summer Bash, we're going to go with no suspension, and I can always add it later if I need to. The front is where we're going to run into a bit of difficulty. So what I want a drift kart, which means we need to get as much steering lock as possible, and this double sort of A-arm thing going on, it's you're kind of limited. I just want a single beam axle, and for time savings, should go with the simplest build possible. So what I'll do is single beam axle and all that stuff in there. I'm gonna have to have a look at it, if it's going to be right for drift kart, for geometry and stuff. I have a feeling that this kingpin, that angle there, isn't quite what I'm looking for, so I may just have to refabricate that. So this whole front end may or may not work. If I find that everything's done and I get a lot of time left, then I can go and cut the beam axle, make a little A-arm bracket, and have that blah blah blah, hinged, pivoted, and suspensioned. Now, because there's going to be so much action happening on this build over the next 3.5 weeks, something like that, I'm going to go and upload twice a week, rather than having to cut out footage and stuff like that. So it'll be a bit shorter. It's not going to be a 45-minute cup of coffee, but it just means that I can bring you along with what I'm doing without having to cut out too much. So I'll be back in a few days, but yeah, thanks for watching, and if you like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.